Hi everyone. So it's Monday. Well, it's Sunday. Ready for Monday. It's cooking day. You'll see it's the first week I haven't got my little helper today. It's Sunday evening. He's a little bit tired. He's watching Despicable Me. So actually, I'm going to quickly rattle through. We're going to make flapjack today. Now, flapjack is one of those things where actually you can make it pretty kind of flexible and do what you like with it, really. So what we're going to do is I've got all the ingredients, again, from the wonder that is the Cadbury Chocolate Book. I've done a little bit of the prep already, just so that we can kind of mix it all together and get it all in and see what it looks like once it's done this time. So what I've got in here, so I have a saucepan, and in here I have, it's all melted together and cooled. It's really important that you cool this. I've got 225 grams of butter, or margarine, so you can use stork if you want. 225 grams of light muscovado sugar, but you can use light brown soft sugar if you want to. 175 grams of golden syrup. Now, I ran out of golden syrup, so I used honey instead. So it's one of those things where you can kind of chuck a few bits in if you want to, and actually ends up being quite good. So 225 of butter, 225 of light muscovado sugar, 175 of golden syrup, and then here we've got 400 grams of porridge oats. So that's all together. And then this bit is the optional bit. This pile here is a little bit of, this is apple from we've got one apple tree in the garden. When we bought our house, it just happened to have an apple tree. And every now and then it produces some apples. So we cut them up and sometimes we freeze them. So these were frozen from last year. I've cooked them off in a bit of sugar and a bit of butter to sort of caramelise them up a little bit. And I've got some raisins and I've got some chocolate chips. Now, what I always do with this recipe, this bit here, obviously, because it's butter and sugar and all that, it gets very, very hot. So what I tend to do, because I'm so impatient and I want to cook it and get it in the oven, I don't wait for that to cool. And when I put the chocolate chips in, they just melt. So all you do is you just get a chocolate flapjack, which is still pretty lovely. But this time it's cooled for a long time, so hopefully we'll all be good. So that's all your stuff. You just melt that in the saucepan. Just melt it all together. Give it a stir. Don't let it get too hot. Melt it in the saucepan. Then big bowl with this in, because you're going to add everything into this bowl. And then chuck in this stuff afterwards. Now, you can pretty much put in whatever you want. You can make it really unhealthy by doing chunks of dark chocolate, chunks of white chocolate, chunks of milk chocolate, or you can make it relatively healthy by putting some raisins, some cranberry, some apricot, stuff like that. And with all this exercise you're doing, you can take a bit of flapjack with you and you can say that it's quite healthy because it's got some dried fruit in it. Look at that. So actually, I'm breaking my one rule here. This could be a healthy recipe, okay? It could be. I'm trying not for it to be because of these little beauties here, chocolate chips, but it could be healthy. So all you do then, and this, I've got it's like a tray bake. That's the word. It's a tray bake tin. Again, doesn't really matter. You can kind of fiddle with your ingredients a little bit to fit the tin that you've got. Round, square, doesn't matter. All right. So all I'm going to do is get my bowl of porridge oats. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour all of this deliciously yummy sugar and syrup and all delicious things like that in here. So this is, as I say, sugar, syrup, honey because I ran out of syrup. I'm going to scrape that in. You don't want to leave any. Normally I've got a little spatula, but I can't be bothered to go and get it now. So we're going to use a wooden spoon. That'll do. Then what we're going to do, we're going to give that a nice stir. So give it a good old stir. And then we get, I love, and do you know what I love? And I know it's probably not very good for you, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it, but I love raw flapjack mix. I love any raw mix. So any cookie dough mix or any cake mix, and you shouldn't have it because it's got raw eggs, so I'm not saying you should have it, but my parents always gave me the bowl to lick whenever they were making a cake or anything. And I'm the same with this. I love, I think it's just the sweetness of it, plus the oats. Actually, raw tastes really good, but please ask your parents before you taste it raw, all right? So that's dead easy, isn't it? Melt it in there, chuck it in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add all this stuff. So I'm going to get my spoon, I think. Where's my spoon gone? Oh, it's in here. So I've just used it to stir. I'm going to put all that in there. Got some apple, some raisins and some chopped chips. But I say, you stick anything in there, anything you fancy. Get that out of the way. And then I'm going to stir that in as well. Oh dear. Look at that, I'm chugging stuff all over the place. So everything, oh, a rogue raisin. Okay, so we're going to give it a stir. Give it a stir. And then, I just love how this looks even before it's gone in the oven. And actually, you can tell I think it's the first time I've ever cooked this where the chopped chips still look like chopped chips. They've not melted. Yippee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in this tin and I'm going to cook it. How long does it say to cook it for? About 25 minutes on 180 degrees. Okay, so I'd love to hear about the variations of flapjack you make and whether they were a success, because if they were amazing, I'll make them. All right, so do like you have been doing, share your things on YouTube, let me know how it's gone. So, chopped chip, raisin, apple, anything you like, flapjack. Hope everything's okay with you all. See you soon, take care, bye.